Okay. So we've talked about this before, but I feel like most things are worth repeating. Our yoga journey, we usually think of as something like, well, this is where I am now. And, if I practice, I'd like to be in this place. We think of it as progress. We think of it as improving ourselves. We think of it as a way of, getting from here, which doesn't feel as peaceful, to there, which feels more peaceful. And that is true. But for the most part, and what I've experienced, and we've all lived long enough to relate to this, I think, it's not really always a linear journey. Most often it's one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. And instead of being this like linear progress where we just take one step at a time and keep walking forward, it's more like a dance. And what's nice about this is once we become aware of something, and yoga does help us with our self-awareness, as we become aware of things, we can't be unaware of them after that. It's like once we know something, we might pretend that we don't already know this about ourselves, or we might ignore that we already know it, but something deep inside of us still remembers what we've learned in previous steps on our journey. And so I thought we'd kind of play with the idea of one step forward, one step back today, and just kind of celebrate not only our progress, because we do make progress over time, but also the experience of it, the forward and back, the knowing ourselves, forgetting something, which is the step back, and then remembering even as we step back, oh yeah, I've already learned this lesson, and then taking what we've learned and taking almost like a shortcut back forward again. And I thought we'd begin today with a big step back from our lives, from our morning, by beginning in Shavasana today. So if you want to find just a comfortable lying on your back position, any position that feels good, legs can be extended, knees can be bent, whatever feels good to you, but just allow your spine to be fully supported. And as you're kind of adjusting your body to settle into stillness, kind of just feel where the back of your skull is touching the mat. Maybe just kind of very subtle and soft, turn the head side to side, maybe pull the chin in and away from the chest a few times. Just kind of let it settle into a place where you feel really stable and still. And once you've found that place for your head, kind of move down the spine, work into the shoulders, make any adjustments there so that your heart feels open, but your shoulders and your heart center feels supported. And as you find stillness and stability there, allow your mind or your consciousness to kind of travel down the spine, feel the bottom of the ribs, settling and finding stillness and stability. And working your way down and feeling both sides of the sacrum, nestling in, anchoring you. And taking a big step back from any doing, letting go of any tension, releasing any tightness or strain or effort, and just relaxing into stillness and support. We find as we practice this stepping back from life to view it from a distance, as it were, to gain perspective, what happens when we step back from the actions, we step into the moment. We step into our deeper awareness. We step into our knowing, our intuitive nature. We begin to recognize the wisdom within our hearts. And from that observing place we call the Sakshi, the one that witnesses all of our actions, witnesses our thoughts, witnesses our being. And just luxuriating in this stillness and this support for maybe 4 or 5 more rounds of breath. Maybe deepening or letting go of a sigh if that feels good to you to let go. Stepping out of the action into the moment. And drawing the soles of the feet to press into the floor. floor. Again, knees bent and pointing up towards the ceiling, spine still fully supported. Take a nice full deep inhale into your low belly, kind of fill up, maybe hold at the top of your inhale, feeling that fullness within you. And then as you exhale, pressing into the heels and just softly lift the sacrum. It doesn't have to be a super high bridge, but just lifting for a moment, engaging for a moment, feeling action and effort. Maybe one more breath, and as you exhale, softly sinking back into support, taking that step back from action and effort, and stepping into the moment, stepping into witnessing, observing, stillness and peace. Let's do that twice more. So take a big full breath into the low belly, fill up your belly, maybe hold for just a moment. Then as you exhale, pressing into the heels again, gently lifting the sacrum. Just holding there, but not holding the breath. See if you can let your breath flow as you engage with effort, as you engage with action, taking a step forward, kind of feeling the pelvis push forward or upward. Then again, when you're ready to let go, on your exhale, softly sink back into that support. That metaphorical taking a step back so that we can step into the moment. One last time, big full inhale, filling up the belly, maybe pausing and holding that breath in. As you exhale, press up into bridge one more time, letting your breath flow as smoothly as you can as you engage with action and effort. Softly sinking down, stepping back into your supported place. Another breath or two with the full spine supported. Just noticing how sweet it is to not be doing, to just be in the moment and being. And from here, we'll take another big breath into the low belly, filling up, maybe holding your inhale, just feeling that fullness within you. Feel the effort of holding the breath. And then as you exhale, softly lift your feet from the floor and draw the knees gently in towards the chest. You might wrap arms around, or you might just let the knees hover. Maybe for just a moment that we try to pull the sacrum up and away from the floor by drawing the knees a little tighter. Maybe we lift the head away from the mat, just kind of curve the whole back body, feeling that effort. On an exhale, softly step back, sink back into your support. Letting go of action and effort. And stepping back into the moment. Let's do that twice more as well. Big inhale, hold your breath in. Exhale, kind of curl into that little cannonball shape. Maybe there's a lot of effort here. Maybe there's just a little effort here. Let your breath flow smoothly as you exert that effort, as you put attention on the pose. On an exhale, soften, step back again into peace, into support, into witnessing. Last round, big full breath in, big belly. Exhale, coiling, engaging with the right amount of effort for you today. Feeling that expansive back body, concentrating on the action where there might be tension or holding, and then relax, step back again into that support. Beautiful. From here, knees just kind of soft. Back in towards the chest, take a big inhale, and then drop your knees to one side. You can start with left or right. See if you can keep your shoulders and your skull anchored as you let your knees fall to one side. And see if you can let go in the twist. See if you can relax all of your effort just like we did as we were stepping back. Coming back into that witnessing phase. Just take about 2 or 3 soft, gentle breaths. Observing the flow of thought, flow of sensation. Celebrating the stepping back. When you're ready to come out, on an exhale, bring your knees back to center. If you need to readjust the spine or re-anchor the skull or shoulders, take that opportunity. Then a full breath in and exhale, twisting to the other side. Let's taking a few breaths and twist. That observing stillness place of stepping back from the action of life. Surrendering. When you're ready to come out, exhale your knees back to center. Bring your feet back to the floor. Maybe the knees collapse together like a little teepee so you can soften. Take about 3 breaths, maybe long sighing exhales to soften your body into that support. In an action-oriented society, it's almost an act of rebellion to pause, to step back intentionally, to let go of effort. Celebrate that inner rebel and just soften into yourself. From here, we're going to draw ourselves into a little hamstring stretch and do a little tiny bit of supported core work. So knees can come back towards the chest, but then we're going to semi-straighten the legs, maybe fully straighten depending on your body and your flexibility. We're kind of pressing the heels up toward the ceiling if your legs are straight, or just reaching your feet as high up as you can. Maybe the knees remain a little bit bent for you. But let your anchor of your pelvis be grounded. Feel the downward pull in that pelvis, even as your heels or your feet reach upward. On your next exhale, let your heels drop away from your torso and toward the floor, maybe a little angle at 45 degrees or so. See if you can allow your breath to flow while you hold that shape. Feel that effort of it. Then as you exhale, either bring your knees in towards the chest or leave your legs straight and heels up towards the ceiling, so there's a little less effort here. Feel how nice it is to allow your body to relax in the torso and all the blood returning to your heart from your hard-working feet and legs to be rejuvenated, taking that step back. Next exhale, find a little angle again. Maybe it's 45 degrees, maybe it's a little lower. Feel the correct amount of engagement for you today. How much effort feels good and sustainable for you for a couple of rounds of breath. Feel the engagement. Keep your breath as soft as you can. And as you exhale, either bring your knees back level or knees in towards the chest. Last round of this core work. As you exhale, let your heels drop down towards the floor a little bit. Keep extending through your heels if you can. Again, just kind of gauging the appropriate amount of effort. Make sure your shoulders and breath are relaxed. Hold for just a moment as your breath flows. Then soften your knees back into your chest. Maybe roll a little side to side. Just kind of resetting. And then from this little coiled cannonball type shape, take a few little rocks along the length of the spine. We're going to come to standing in just a moment here. So maybe we come to seated first and then gently rise up into a standing shape. We're going to attempt to find a standing shape that is relaxed. So just like we anchored our pelvis on our backs, anchor the feet, keep a little softness in the knees, maybe shake a little side to side, kind of work out any tension. And once you feel grounded through your feet, legs, and pelvis, see if you can find that lightness in your heart. Softness, openness, relax the hands and arms, let the fingers be soft and firm. Just take a couple of breaths in stillness again. Feel the balance of effort and ease. And recognize how that could be a useful gauge for stepping forward into action or stepping back into peace, stepping back into your witnessing. From here, we're just going to warm up the whole body and begin to work with our breath. So on an inhale, arms come out wide, creating a big circle, reaching up, maybe gaze also lifts. Exhale, fold slowly into a standing forward fold. Once you're there, keep that softness in your knees, shake out any tension in your torso and neck, make sure your arms are heavy. You can grasp opposite elbows and just let your arms hang. Wait a few breaths, feel your belly soften and your pose naturally deepen through gravity and surrender.
Good. As you inhale, arms come out wide as we hinge back up to standing. Maybe the gaze lifts as the arms find their apex. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath in and out. Next inhale, arms circle wide again, reaching up. Exhale. 3 breaths or so to allow the pose to soften through release and surrender. Observe, let go of doing. Then on your inhale, engage again as your arms come wide and we hinge back up to standing. Gaze and hands lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath in and out. Last round, half sun style, arms reach out and up. Exhale, fold. 3 breaths as you allow the pose to deepen. We're not pushing deeper, we're allowing it to grow. Stepping back into that witnessing, softness state. Last round as we lift, inhale and engaging, arms coming wide and then reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath in and out. We're going to start to shift our weight into the right foot. Once you feel stable in that right leg, make sure the right knee is a little soft. And then we're going to step back with the left foot towards the back. Find your footing, make sure you're nice and steady, engaging hips and shoulders and gaze facing forward. As we inhale, arms come out wide and lift up. Maybe the gaze also lifts. Exhale, sink down into the right knee. Arms can stay lifted here, or we can take that little goddess type shape, the gold post arms. But keep the heart open. Feel the strength and steadiness of your front foot pushing back and your back foot pushing forward. Soft lightness in your heart and mind. Good. Next inhale, straighten the right leg. And hands can come down either to your hips, maybe to your sacrum. Perhaps we interlace fingers or grasp for opposite elbows or forearms. And then lift the heart, lift the gaze. Let the shoulders just fall back behind you. Stargazer pose helps us find perspective. We stop looking so deeply into ourselves and start looking at our place in the grand scheme of things. Sometimes we get really stressed out over things, and one of the questions I like to ask myself in those moments is, will this matter in 5 minutes? Will it matter in 5 months? Will it matter in 5 years? And if the answer is no, it helps me to look at that vastness of the universe and think this problem is so small, and then I can let it go. So in order to symbolize that letting go, let your heart fold forward over your right leg. Maybe your hands come down to that right thigh, right shin. Maybe they come to blocks or the floor. Both legs ideally are straight, although the knees are unlocked, and spine is round. So chin is toward the chest. Just see if we can keep that steadiness in the legs, even as we find that lightness of being and the lifted heart. And the surrender of chin to chest, folding over that right leg. If you're not already using blocks, I would recommend them. If they're not on their tallest setting, go ahead and adjust your blocks so your palms are on the small side of the block. Bend gently into that left knee, and then we're going to start to just kind of push off so that we're standing on the right leg with the left leg lifted. Ideally, because we've been practicing with our core this morning, we can keep the shoulders and hips level. Just see if you can find the effort of this pose, engaging, action, kind of stepping forward, but also a little bit of ease. See if you can balance that. And we can either step the left foot next to the right and come to standing, or we can see if we can bend at the left knee and come to standing on the right foot so that the left foot is still lifted. We're going to find tree pose eventually. So if you need to make a little pit stop at standing first, that's fine. Keep that softness in the back of the right knee. See if you can find that anchoredness in your hips and right leg. Hands can be at hips or at heart.
And eventually we're gonna lean to each side. So we might place the left hand at the left hip and swing the right arm up and over. Go as deep or as gentle as you need to keep your position. Ideally, that right hand is reaching up and over to the left just a little. See if you can make a little space between right shoulder and right hip. Good. Slowly, so we don't fall, bring your right hand to your right hip. And then left arm, comes up and over. Open up a little bit of space between the left and the right shoulder. Maybe it's a little, maybe it's a lot. Good. Come back to your centered place, ground through that right and left foot now. Take a big inhale, exhale and fold, softening the backs of the knees. Maybe the knees are even deeply bent here. The idea is to be grounded through the legs, and soft and passive through the torso. Bending deeply enough into the knees to plant the palms on the floor. We're going to step back with both feet into downward facing dog. Extend through your arms, lengthen your spine. See if you can take an active down dog at first. Maybe again, the knees are bent here. That long length and effort in the arms and the spine. Maybe softness and ease in the head and neck. Maybe we can gently separate the shoulder blades here to find that lightness of being in our arms as it lifts gently above the shoulders. As you exhale, find a plank position. So perhaps we are knees lifted, perhaps we are knees down, but same thing, find that long length in the spine. A little bit of effort here, feel your core engage. On your next exhale, let your knees and your chest come down towards the floor. Take a full breath in and out, waiting for your body to soften into that support. Next, inhale, lift your chin and your heart away from the floor. Maybe it's just a little cobra, maybe it's a sphinx or a dolphin. Good. On an exhale, relax your chest back down to the floor. Full breath in, full breath out. Press up into table. Lengthen your spine, find that flatness, a little bit of effort, maybe a gentle engagement in the core. Tuck your toes, rise again into downward facing dog. So if you can keep that length in the spine, even as you let go of effort in the head, knees stop overthinking. Maybe there's a little softness now coming into the belly. Still a little bit of lift and engagement through the arms as we lengthen and lift the hips. One more breath in. As you exhale, knees come back down into table. Inhale into the back of the heart, finding that lightness of being. Exhale, child's pose, pause. Balancing our effort and our action, our stepping forward, our progress, with stepping back, finding peace, and taking time to observe. What fun is it to make progress, forward progress, if we don't stop and admire it a little bit, stop and revel in it and enjoy it. A few more breaths in child. Celebrate the undoing, stepping back, the beauty of just being. When you feel ready to engage again, come back into table, lengthen and flatten your spine, tuck your toes, back to down dog. Full breath in, down dog, exhale, step the feet forward, find yourself in that little forward fold. And we're gonna bend at the knees just a little, and then hinge just the torso up, and we're gonna find chair pose. Effort. Reach up, be active. Feel the effort in your thighs and your core. One more breath in. As you exhale, straighten the legs and release your arms into Asana for just a breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Exhale, bend to the knees, chair pose. Maybe it's one breath for you, maybe it's 2 or 3, maybe it's 4 or 5. Feel the efforts, feel that step forward into action. And ready to release, straighten the legs and exhale the arms back out to your side. Last round, arms sweep out wide. Exhale, chair pose. Engagement, improvement, the pain that leads to the gain. This time as we release, we're gonna inhale and straighten the legs and exhale and find our forward fold. Soften through the knees, relax through the spine. Feel gravity assisting you rather than forcing the spine long. Allow. Witness the unclenching of your spine as you let go. We're gonna take a nice slow roll up and start to stack the spinal bones one at a time, keeping that little bit of bend in the back of the knees. Allowing the shoulders to fall gently back, hands and arms to be soft, passive, and heavy. Just take a moment to ground in Asana. If you need to widen your stance, feel free. Now we're going to find all those movements on our other side. So start to shift your weight into the left foot this time. When you feel stable there, stepping back with the right. Find your stance. Make sure you ground through your feet. Hips and shoulders facing forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Maybe arms stay lifted. Maybe we take that little goddess goalpost shape. Heart is open. Right foot is pushing us forward, left foot is pushing us back. Sometimes we feel this in our conflicting efforts, where we try to be more active, but we also try to relax a little bit more in life. Doesn't everybody have those same two goals that seem so opposed? We can find balance. We keep ourselves aware. We take a moment to step back and observe. Next, inhale, straighten that left leg. Let your arms come down again to your hips or your sacrum. Maybe they interlace or opposite elbows. Lift the heart, lift the gaze, let the shoulders soften back. See the whole wide universe. And remember how small these little irritations and challenges are. These little hiccups in the road, when we pause, we take a moment to step back from our issues and try to find the solution right this minute. We notice how small it is. Will it matter in 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 days? If not, move it out. Again, to symbolize that letting go, keeping your heart forward, let it fall down towards your left thigh. Hands can support you at your thigh, your shin, the floor, or blocks. Chin is in towards your chest, softness in the backs of the knees even though legs are straight. Feel that lightness in your heart, lifting your heart gently above your shoulders. Let yourself be supported with your arms. Feel the stability of your step or your stance. And observe inwardly. Where can I apply a little more effort? Where can I apply a little more ease and more? Gently softening into the left knee just a little. We're going to start to press off again, rising into our little warrior 3 stance and lifting the right leg. Ideally, hips and shoulders are level. Maybe we feel a little engagement in our core. So you can keep your breath soft as you apply this effort, this stepping forward into action. And again, from here, we're going to transition to tree. So if you need to find your footing first and then move into tree, that's fine. You can also bend at the right knee and slowly rise, depending on the challenge that you need today. Finding that steadiness in the left leg, that anchoredness in our pelvis, and that soft lightness in our hearts, hands and hips or heart, pausing. Feel the effort of the standing leg and floatiness of the heart. Right hand will come to right hip, left arm reaches up, and then gently over to the right.
Create a little space between left shoulder and hip. And reminding ourselves if we need to fall out and, grab our balance before coming back in, that's always a valid option in life. Slowly, slowly, switching sides, left hand at left hip, right hand up and over to the left, creating space between the right shoulder and hip. Feel the effort of the standing leg, honor it. Coming back to center, touching down with that right foot back on the floor. Inhale and then exhale, finally. Soften down. Knees at least gently bent, maybe deeply bent. Find that passivity in the shoulders, neck. Lengthen, not through effort, but through ease. Taking that look within. Bending deeply enough to plant the palms. Let's find our downward facing dog. Again, stepping back. Effort in the arms. Effort to lift and lengthen the spine. Ease in the neck and heaviness in the head. Maybe a little bit of separation in the shoulder blades. Finding that lightness of being apart. Knees either gently or deeply bent. Exhale and find your plank shape, knees on or off the mat. Keep your spine flat. Apply a little effort to extend here. Stepping forward basically into the action of effort here. One more breath and then exhale to bring your full front body down to the floor. Take at least one full breath in and out to find ease here. Inhale, the heart lifts away from the floor, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Hold here, but let your breath flow. Feel again, effort. Feel the forward motion of your heart, the upper motion of your head, engaging the mind and your heart. And on the exhale, soften back down into the support of the floor. Take at least one full deep breath. Rising again through table. Effortfully lengthening the spine just like we did in our plank shape or our standing shape, tucking the toes, rising again, downward facing dog. Observe which parts of you are engaging, which parts of you are soft. One more breath in. As you exhale, knees come back down to the mat. Inhale into the back of the heart. Exhale, child's pose. As you find those relaxing shapes of soften, let go of all effort. Really openness at the back of your heart. Feel the beauty of not engaging, the value of stepping back from life. Observe. When you're ready, we'll take our steps to come through table and then down dog. Moving mindfully, lengthening the spine. Once in down dog, take at least one big full breath in and exhale to step the feet forward, finding your folding. Soften. Maybe we bend the knees very deeply here. And on an inhale, flat back, arms reaching up, chair pose. Feel that engagement, stepping forward into the action. Inhale as you exhale, straighten the legs, release your arms down to your side. Full breath.
Inhale, arms out wide and reaching up. Exhale, squatting down into our chair shape. You can alternately take a twist here if that feels good to your body. You can stay upright. We're gonna do one more side here, so you can stay on one side for the twist, or you can stay upright and centered. Good, on an inhale, reaching up again, straightening the legs. Exhale, releasing arms to your side. All breath. As you inhale, arms swing wide and upward. Exhale, sinking into your squat. Perhaps we twist to the other side this time. Perhaps we stay centered and upright. Checking in with the appropriate level of manageable effort for you today. Maybe today you have to keep to your schedule. Maybe another day you're flexible enough to twist into a new thing. Just notice where you are. Feel the effort. Give it your best. When you're ready to come out, if you're twisted, untwist. Otherwise, straighten the legs, reaching up. Exhale, letting the arms come out to your side. At least 2 breaths in and out. Let's step the feet a little wider this time. We're gonna just make a slow goddess type of shape as we bend at the knees, maybe supporting with hands on the thighs. We're gonna come down into a low squat. So you can use your blocks if you like for support underneath your hips, or you can just hover over the floor, so whatever feels good to you today. Once your hips are down, either supported by blocks or hovering above the floor, lift and lengthen your spine. So we're softening now through the lower body and lifting and applying effort in the upper body. If your hands are at heart center, maybe your elbows can help hold your knees in place, and you can just soften all the muscles in your hips and thighs. Maybe we can take the next few breaths in and lengthen, and the next few breaths out to soften the tailbone down. Last breath, big inhale. Exhale, release your hands to behind your body and let your sitting bones come down to the floor. From here, we can lean back into the hands and just windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times. When you feel good and open through the hips, we're gonna pause and bring the soles of the feet either to face one another or to touch. Knees might be supported as they come wide by your blocks, if that's helpful to you. Anchor through the sitting bones again. Find that downward pull, that rootedness, find stability. Relaxing your arms and hands, start to effortfully lift and open the heart, letting the shoulders soften down. Just take about 3 breaths observing. Feel the juxtaposition of engaging with the heart and the mind and softening with the body. On your next exhale, soften the chin to the chest. Big inhale to the back of the neck. Exhale, let the shoulders fall forward of the heart. Feel the back body bend and open. Take a few breaths here, grounded into yourself. Passive in all parts of the body now. Heavy pelvis, soft belly. Letting gravity open the back body. Notice that natural lightness of being in the back of the heart here as it's lifted. One more breath. Find your neutral spine, staying passive and open through the low body, effortfully lifting through the heart, head, softening the shoulders down. Let's take a few neutral breaths. Reaching the hands again behind the body. Knees are gonna come closer to center. Feet can stay wide, mat width, or maybe even a little bit wider. So we're just kind of taking a wide open
stance here. The hands supporting us. Inhale to lift your heart above your shoulders. Exhale into your palms. Inhale, lift the chin away from the chest. Exhale into your arms. Just take about 2 or 3 breaths here. If your neck feels crunched, engage with lengthening the neck even as the chin comes away from the chest. So we have some effort here to lift the heart. Keep your breaths smooth. When you're ready, come back to that neutral shape. Knees are still wide. Yeah, feet are still wide. Knees are moving side to side again. This time we're going to take our deer twist, and there's lots of options on how this looks depending on where your body is today and what you might need. But as your knees come side to side, next time they come to the left, go ahead and let both knees fall down towards the floor. That right hip might lift away from the mat. Perhaps we just stay lifted here with hands kind of just to the other side of your left knee. Perhaps we come around and walk a little deeper into the twist. Perhaps we come low on forearms or maybe forearms on blocks. For the first few breaths, keep your spine as flat and lengthened as you can. Soften as much as you can for the hips. We're eventually going to soften the torso as well. Just notice where there's engagement and where there's ease. And stepping back from all action now, with the chin coming towards the chest, kind of rounding forward, either lifted high on your straight arms or lowered towards the floor. Let your whole body get soft now. Let go of tension in the face, the breath. If you notice there's still tension or persistent hanging on, maybe untwist just a little or lift back up to your arms or something. Find a way to soften as completely as you can, even if that means backing away from the most intense stretch here. 2 more breaths as smoothly as you can allow your breath to flow. We're going to come back to our original position. So if you're lowered down, coming back to the palms and starting to untwist. Face forward again, hands will be behind the body, knees facing up. Take a little bit of that side to side wipering of the knees again. Just notice how one side might feel different than the other. Then next time your knees fall to the right, find your deer twist on this side. Again, engaging with a flat spine, whether you're lifted or lowered for the first few breaths. Focusing on relaxing any effort or tension in the hips. Notice how your body feels. This side feels different than the other side felt. We often use our bodies asymmetrically. Just come into that observing place. And after 1 more breath, start to soften that flat back. Rounding a little forward, chin to chest. Softening a little bit more into the shape round. More and more passive with each exhale. Surrendering to the twists and turns of life, surrendering to the changes that come. Being at ease in ourselves as we flow through life. Taking a moment to step back from that active pursuit of self-improvement. Simply enjoying and reflecting on how much we've already improved, how arrived we already are. Maybe there's miles to go. There's miles behind us from all of our previous effort. Sit with that as softly as you can for another few minutes. Now, as you're ready, taking whatever twist form you've come into, coming back to an untwisted shape to face forward again.
2 more poses to take. We're gonna come either into a cross-legged position now seated, or if you'd like to take a fire log type shape where the shins are stacked, that's also an option. We're gonna do both sides, so just take note of which leg is on top, no matter which position you're choosing. Find that anchoredness in your pelvis and then that active lift in your chest, soft shoulders, soft back. Whichever leg is on top for you, place the opposite hand on the floor and then sweep one arm up and over. Feel the space between your shoulder and your hip as you reach. Maybe draw that top shoulder gently back. Sometimes we apply all our efforts to one thing in life. Come back to your center. Relax your arms down. Take 1 or 2 more breaths just in this neutral cross-legged shape. And switch the crossness of your legs. So either in fire log or your cross-legged shape, other leg is on top now. Anchor through your hips, lengthen actively through your spine. Whatever leg is on top, opposite hand is coming to the floor, then sweep your arm up and over. Creating a lot of space between the shoulder and the hip. Maybe gently drawing again that top shoulder back. Notice how there's ease as we lean into our bottom hand and effort as we reach and open with our top arm. Good. Just breathe into that. Changing direction with our effort, changing direction with our peace. As you're ready, neutralize your spine. As your arms come down, take another full breath or 2 in and out of this neutral shape. And finally, uncrossing the legs, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. And slowly tucking chin to chest, little seated cannonball shape, and then slowly lowering your spine to the floor. So first, the sacrum at the bottom, letting the top of the sacrum come to the mat, and then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, letting your shoulders come down, and then finally the back of the skull. Start to make some adjustments to the body to feel the most aligned, so that as you release your muscles and let go, there's no effort, but there's this beautiful flow of energy from crown to root. We tried to balance our effort and our ease today. We opened up to possibility. And we rooted ourselves down in the places that bring us peace and stability. Just let your breath flow softly, sink deeper and deeper into that stepping back from action. Just taste and relish in that joy of being, pure awareness. Forgive yourself for all the times you've made progress and then stepped back from it. Celebrate the times when you slipped out of your sort of golden stream and found your way into, recognition, remembering the lessons you've already learned. Sometimes our action and our efforts need to be balanced by pausing and reflection. There's actions we can take toward our progress and moments of peace where we just simply allow those things to integrate passively. Celebrate the dance of one step forward, one step back. Just like when we fall out of tree pose, allowing ourselves the opportunity to take that next step, to come back into our action. that piece of aliveness, awareness within you. Connect to the part of you that has no requirement for progress, that is already divine and perfect within you. Claim your true self. Receive that with your breath in, and let go of any burdens with your breath out. Continue to allow yourself to be fully submerged in stepping back from action, just allowing yourself to reflect and to be. Samad Ayami, I surrender. Karomi, I do. And these two forces are what brings us into wholeness. Both elements are required. Feel even as you relax in stillness, the heart is still working, the mind still thinking, the heart still feeling, the awareness so alert. Balance. Bring yourself from this stillness back into action through first deepening the breath. Receiving a little more, letting go and surrendering a little more, breathing in, breathing out. On your inhale, start to find little movements in the head or the fingers or the toes. On your exhales, find that stillness again. As your next few inhales come into the body, stretch a little, find some activity in the muscles, and awakening and awareness. And as you exhale, soften again. When you feel the moment is right, start to make a slow, gentle progress from stillness through action, and then back into stillness in a seated position. So you will know the path to get you here. You will know the pace. You will know the steps required. Find your way stillness to stillness through action. Feel the awareness and the cooperation of your muscles and bones as you rise. Feel the engagement and then the subsequent letting go. As your sitting bones come back to the floor, feel them anchoring you, stabilizing you, providing stillness. Feel that active lift in your heart, the passive softening of your shoulders. Take a full breath in and hold. And soften. Bring the palms to gently touch and in towards your heart. Honor the light that is within you. Feel your heart beating under your thumbs. The action of your body and the alertness of your awareness, even as you are in stillness. And exhale, let the chin come to the chest. Bowing not only to the light within you, but to the light within all things. We know that each action, each step we take, that karomi, what I do, any and all things that I do, are offered in service of our own realization of wholeness, and therefore to all. So we close our practice with that prayer. Loka, samasta, sukhino, bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, safe, and free. Namaste.